Well, hey there, friends. Welcome to episode number 142 of It'll Be Fine. I'm your friend, your pal, Kelly Zemnikas. And are you familiar with the Twix bar? It's a delicious candy bar, chocolate bar, whatever you want to call it. It's very good as a coffee stir stick, if you didn't already know. But, friends, have you ever thought, I'm going to make my own Twix bar? Have you ever thought that? I'm going to be honest, before today's episode, I never considered it. I really hadn't. But today we are making a vegan and gluten-free version of the Twix bar. So get ready for this. And I'm taking this adventure off to London, England. And we are joined today by the podcaster and the super funny and the very cool Rabiah Coon. I'm super excited to do this with Rabiah today. This is going to be fine. I'm like pretty sure.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
All right, here's what we are going to need to make some homemade Twix. So for today's recipe, we are going to the Minimalist Baker. There is a link to this recipe in the YouTube show description. For today's bake, we are going to need water. We're going to need some ice cold water and some not so cold water. We need vanilla extract, maple syrup, got chocolate chips there, dates. Friends, get them pitted. Don't make extra work for yourself. Or if you want to, go for it. We need some coconut oil. I have in there some baking soda and salt. And we have flour. What I have done is batch this down. So this is going to make about 10 Twix bars. The full recipe will give you about 20. Oh, this is going to be good. And are you in London proper, or are you outside of?
Yeah, so I'm in an area called Camden Town. So Amy Winehouse fans flock to this area. There's a statue of her, and it's where she like performed a lot. I think she lived like at Primrose Hill, from what I understand, which is just that direction, but I don't know what way that is. But yeah, it's probably west up here, something like that.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's kind of awesome. I like little things like that when you find out that someone used to perform in a certain area or live close by. And my gosh, she was such a brilliant musician. Oh my goodness. What a great singer.
Yeah, so it's really cool. I'm just grabbing coffee. I made coffee because I figured you'd be having coffee, so I was like gonna be jealous. So I got this mug at a Banksy exhibition. So it's actually really interesting, but yeah.
That is super cool. I like that mug a lot. Oh my gosh. Yeah, mine kind of is like David Bowie-esque.
That's Bowie, yeah.
I've pointed out a few times. But
yeah.
It is
I just realized I left my Ricky Gervais mug in the front room, so that's fine. I'll use this one. Give both of them a chance today.
Before we get going, have you softened the dates?
I didn't yet. I can put the water on them now.
Yeah, so put the water on them now. That's what I'm going to do.
It should be hot water, right? Because I made dates before and like.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is just to soften these up, because this is going to be that sweet, delicious caramel in the Twix bar that we're making, but with dates. And the recipe says remove pits from dates. For the love of goodness, buy pitted dates. Don't do that yourself.
That's what I did. I have done the opposite before, and it's not fun. It's not.
No.
It's not. Boiling water. You have a kettle also. It's nice. Like that's how I became very British with the kettle thing, you know. So
I half of my heritage is British, and the kettle and the phrase "Do you want me to put the kettle on?" just rolls very easily off my tongue. It's like, should we put the kettle on? Do we need to talk? You know?
Yeah, like of course. Yeah, they're submerged. They're submerged now.
Yeah, no, they totally are. And then the other thing we got to do to get this party started is to preheat our oven to, if you're doing Celsius, 176. Or if you're doing
Yes.
Fahrenheit, 350. So we'll do
So
that.
I'm doing a gas mark, which I didn't know existed. Yes.
Oh.
Old. And it's an old way of doing things. And the repairman was impressed at how old the oven was one day. He'd been in an oven this old in a while.
I think I've cooked with gas twice in my life. I've always been electric.
Yeah, I don't know. Now it's gonna actually this is the fun one. Because I thought my oven was broken, but you just have to almost fill the room here with gas before life. So I probably should have done this before. But oh, there we go. We got it. That's a gas mark. That's a gas mark 3 for anyone who needs a gas mark.
And then the third and final thing for prep that we need to do for this is to line our baking sheet. We both don't have any parchment on hand. You can use tin foil, aluminum foil, however you want to say it. The one little tip I'll say about using this in place of parchment, sometimes you don't have to cook it as long because this will heat up a little bit faster. So
Okay.
just keep an eye on it, but it's completely usable if you want to, or just grease this up with a lot of butter or coconut oil, and you can do it that way too. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this because I still haven't bought parchment.
No, I forgot. Like, well, I was surprised they didn't have any. Put it that way. So.
I ran out of it just before I moved, and I moved about 2 months ago now, and I still haven't bought any.
Yeah.
Question. Have
Yeah.
you ever made a chocolate or a candy bar before?
No. And I even went out and bought a Pyrex bowl because my sister and I had like this double boiler incident where she ended up in the ER on Thanksgiving.
What?
So, because I was gonna like fashion one like we did at my mom's house, and I was like, no, I'm gonna have a bowl delivered actually, but yeah.
I don't mean to laugh at going to the ER, but
No, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like someone's always gonna get injured at one of our holidays. So, sure.
that is the side dish you bring is danger. Who's got danger? Rabiah? Okay, cool.
Oh, I have not made a candy bar before, so I'm really excited about it.
I am super excited too. And the one that we are doing today is from a website called The Minimalist Baker. We are making easy, and I always put that in quotes because I'm like, is this going to be easy? But these are vegan and gluten-free Twix bars, which suits your dietary needs.
Yes.
Yes. Gives me a new adventure. How long have you been doing this kind of food thing? Is it allergy based or just to feel better?
Yeah. The gluten part is I got diagnosed with celiac about maybe 6 years ago now. I don't know. I was living in New York, and the doctor calls like right before Thanksgiving. Goes, hey, listen, enjoy your Thanksgiving, because after that, no more gluten. And I was like, what? And then I kind of didn't even take it that seriously at first because I was just it was just one of those things where already back then you were hearing, oh, it's just a thing like people make up, but it actually profoundly impacted my mental health more than even my physical health. Like, so it was pretty cool. So I just stick with it. And plus, yeah, they just kind of scare you into it about the damage you're doing. And then the dairy, I have an autoimmune or like a neurological condition, so I stopped dairy because of the inflammation. It's MS. I'm not ashamed of it or whatever. I have multiple sclerosis, so one thing I've tried to do is through diet manage it. So just cow's milk is pretty inflammatory in general, so just took it out. So it's been okay.
What I'm going to do is take this recommends almond flour. I'm just going with a rice-based gluten flour. It calls for arrowroot starch, baking soda, and salt. And you basically just want to put this in and get it all combined. You can do this in a bowl with a fork if you wish. You don't need a food processor, but basically let's just mix those things all together. So we'll get that going. All right. Yeah, I plug this in. I don't think I realized when I bought this food processor how hard
So,
for me to use it.
well, so I ended up, I told you I didn't have one, and then I was like looking up how to make hummus and stuff because I stopped eating garbanzo beans. So I was trying to make lentil, and I was like, there, I'll use a food processor. So I said, all right, so I got the cheapest one I could. Because, yeah, so
Amazing.
trying first time.
Awesome. We're breaking it in. I love it. So yeah, I will say on the website, if you're worried about how do I batch this down, on the website, it's really great because you can just type in how many bars you want to eat or have, and it'll adjust the measurements for you, which is super cool. So we're going to take our coconut oil and pulse it. We're going to add it to what we've just added to the powder. We're going to pulse the coconut oil in, says about 5 pulses.
Okay.
So yeah, don't go too crazy on this. Coconut oil is in, and we're just going to pulse this up. Next up, we need ice cold water. So I'm going to go get some water out of my fridge, and we need our maple syrup. If you don't have maple syrup, I would suggest doing like agave, or if you're vegan and you do honey, add honey. Or I don't know what else you could do, like a liquid sugar, if you wish.
Yeah.
But what do you have?
I actually have some from Canada, but I had this before for something else, like because I was using it instead of vanilla one day because they didn't have vanilla at the store. So yeah.
The one thing I wouldn't suggest is like a corn syrup or a table syrup, which is not real syrup.
Okay.
As a Canadian, I just get squirrely when I see table syrup. I have dough. Huzzah! Right. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your dough, and there's mine there, looking good. Ta-da! Yay! Alrighty. And we are going to now take our dish and press this into a nice even layer and bake it for about 25 minutes. Fine, but happily I can buy it here in Toronto. I love a British Malteser compared to an American Malteser. It tastes so much better.
Different.
There are some UK treats that are just, I don't know what's in the chocolate or how it's put together, but it's just.
It's probably just, maybe they're not using as much, preservative stuff or something.
Maybe. I don't know what it is, but I will highly suggest if you like Maltesers like I do, find ones from the UK. They're so much better. At home, this is what I have. Ta-da! It's very pale, but it's there.
This is the first time I'm more tan than someone.
All right, let's put this into the oven for about 25 minutes. Shirt. Is that Paul McCartney?
Oh yeah, this is Paul McCartney. I got this shirt from 2009 in New York, actually. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. I sported my Try Harder shirt today.
That's really
I like a pun. All right. So while that is in the oven, we are going to make our date caramel, which sounds delicious. So give this a wash, and then we'll put our dates into our food processor. We're going to make the caramel next, and then one of the steps is for melting the chocolate, which you are welcome to do with the double broiler technique, 100%. You can also microwave chocolate, which I love that she goes through, or they go through, all the steps of how to melt. And then at the end it says, or you can microwave it for 20 seconds. It's like, I'm going to go with the shorter route.
Yeah, well, I'll use a smaller bowl then. But anyway, it's good I've got, because I'm moving soon, so I need to have some stuff that I've been wanting for a year anyway. So
yeah. My one tip about melting chocolate in a microwave is do it in increments. Like if it calls for 30 seconds, go 10 10 10 or 15 5. Like break it down. Don't go for a full 30. Because you can risk like burning it, which is not fun.
Yeah.
All right, so our dates have been soaking in their bathtub. Yay. It looks like a gross soup. So we'll put, obviously drain the dates. The water is not going to go in with this. So we're just going to put our soup dates into our food processor and get these chopped up. Got our dates broken down. Now the vanilla. What we're going to do is take, this time we're just taking room temperature water. Doesn't have to be ice cold. And in little batches, add the water. For me, I'm doing half a tablespoon because I'm making 10 bars. So it just says add in a teaspoon at a time until everything is sticky and smooth. Wow. This is a beautiful mess. I love it. This looks super good. All right. So to be thick and sticky, you do not, the recommendation here is you don't want this too thin. You don't want it too runny. So I think I've got good stick to this because it's jammed on the side here. All right. So we'll take this out, take your little blade out, and we'll just set it aside. I need about 13 more minutes on my cookie. So, was your household big on home baked goods, or did you guys do a lot of takeout kind of thing?
No, I mean it was, well, there was a mix as far as like food, but no, I mean I like one of the favorite things I think was just at Christmas, like my grandma she wouldn't cook very much from what I remember, but she would like always make these Ranger cookies, they were called. And they're like oatmeal, coconut. I don't know, they were just so good. And so my mom makes those now, and then we would just like do Christmas cookies and stuff like that. And then I think we all like chocolate chip cookies, you know, like that Toll House. There was like in Friends where she and it's like we love those. I mean, so yeah, I still kind of almost know the recipe, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Growing up, chocolate chip cookies, hands down, that's like such a childhood memory of getting that pre-made mix and just, you know, preparing it with the water and the butter or whatever. Oh my gosh. Were you eat the dough after
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in salmon.
That was such a thing back in the 80s, just eat that cookie dough. Nowadays, everyone's all freaking out over, oh, it's raw egg.
Well, do you see they sell the like safe cookie dough, like you can buy it. I'm like, that's probably not as good.
We're still here. We were fine. Making an appearance on my show. This is my new puppy.
Hello.
Dolly. You can't have any of this. No, you can't.
So little.
She is 10 weeks old.
Oh my gosh. How's she doing? Like pretty good with everything?
She loves everything. She's not scared of anything. She's a warrior. Yeah, you are.
She has cool like eyebrows.
I know, right? And beautiful.
Really.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? Say hi. Hi. You can't have chocolate. No, you can't. Oh, she eats everything. A little bit hot, but we're going to add our date layer. And once again, as best as I can as a woman with a tremor, be delicate. So, all right.
All right, let's see.
Let's do this. Oh, this is hard. Oh, goodness me. So now we're going to cut some bars. All right, so we've got these, and now we're going to douse this in chocolate.
That's interesting. So when did you find that out?
I have had the tremor, I would say started about when I was 16 years old. 16 or 17, I noticed it. It was diagnosed, I think I was about 30 or 31. My brother was over for dinner. He noticed that I was serving a plate of hors d'oeuvres like it was going through turbulence. And he said, you know, you may want to talk to our doctor about that. And there was the concern that it was Parkinson's because of just how much I was now shaking. And yeah, I got diagnosed with essential tremor. So something I've gotten through another person in the family. It is something I've inherited. There are bits at the bottom of my brain that aren't there that other people would have that I don't have. So I'm missing parts. And you know, I've been able to live without medication
Yeah.
for it. But if it gets to a point where it looks more like Parkinson's and I don't have the control over my arms or the ability to hold things, there's been a lot of great work done, especially here in Toronto at Sunnybrook Hospital for essential tremor. So there's treatments, there's surgeries that can be done to sort of, if I get to that point in my life, make myself as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still kind of scary knowing you've got that and you don't know. It's hard not to future project and be like, what is my body going to be like in 10 years? I have
Oh,
no
yeah,
idea.
for
You know,
sure.
yeah.
I 100% understand. So I'm not on medication actually, and that's why I do the diet thing, try to do stuff. I was on medication for a long time, and I had to inject myself every day, and
Oh, wow.
I don't know. So then I didn't need to do it. And here, now
Yeah.
that I've been to England, they said, well, if you haven't had a relapse in like 2 relapses in a year, they won't even recommend medication, which is very different than the approach in the US. But I know that exact thing of, and I think that's been something that's driven me is I don't know if I'm going to be okay in 5 years, so I'm going to do it now. And sometimes my mom's like, you need to rest more, whatever. I'm like, I know I'm taking care of myself. I'm resting when I need to, but I also need to do things. And that's, you know, it's kind of like how you can, it's in a way use it as a gift too, which
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
to
Because
be able to.
it focuses you to be present
Mhm.
because you really do not know what your body's going to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's so good. I love just melting chocolate chips and dipping fruit in it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I never think about how easy it would be to do something like that, you know?
Yeah. Like you don't need to worry about getting a fancy fondue pot. Just put some chocolate in a bowl and microwave it. So good. Oh my God. Delish. These on a plate and refrigerate for about 5 to 10 minutes. Just want to get this hardened up.
Now I'm making a mess. This is great.
Be delicate getting everything on your plates. Check on our bars. Let's check. No. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tuck mine into the freezer for a few
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
So much better. They're out of the freezer. So we did the freezer. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to tuck into one of these.
I have one of them's pretty solid. That's the one.
All right. Shall we give this a go?
Yeah.
This is our vegan gluten-free Twix bar. Bon appetit. Cheers. There we go.
Yeah. All the sides. All right.
Yeah.
We did it.
Shane!
You said 3 or 4 days. Challenge accepted. I can do it. That's good.
That is madness how I mean, we're not doing the traditional caramel, but that date gives it that same like luxurious kind of like the crunch of the cookie, the chocolate on top.
It's good. Yeah.
How come goosies? Oh my God.
I'm so happy. This is great.
Oh my God, this is so good.
And this would be a good chow to bring somewhere, like for a party, you know?
I say, I guess it's Mars that makes Twix. I'm not sure. Wherever the company is, they should do a vegan Twix. Clearly, it's possible.
Really good.